Welcome to welcome to DL Gaming Podcast. This episode, we're going to be talking about the latest, greatest announcements from Summer's Games Fest and like 20 other things that all happened last week, and some shitty ones too. But first, I'm Emilio.
I'm Bobby.
My name is Christian, and yeah, Emilio mentioned that the whole fucking guys. There's 12 events this week. I'm just going to name them all. See how fast I can do. State of Play, Summer Games Fest, Day of the Debs, IOI Showcase, Wholesome Direct, Women-Led Games Fest, Latin American Games Showcase, Southeast Asian Games Showcase, Green Games Showcase, Frosty Games Showcase, that one's for Australia, Xbox Game Showcase, and the PC Gaming Show. That's 12 events in total. No one, if this was your full-time job, you wouldn't have time to watch all these events, I don't think. You know, like, if you're a media person, you kind of have to pick and choose. Am I going to go to the Green Games Showcase? Probably not. I'm not going to attend. There's so many showcases that when I was scheduling a time for us all to watch a showcase, I picked the wrong showcase and I completely fucked up the time. So we had to scramble together on Friday to watch Summer Games Fest together. But yeah, did you guys have any general ideas or opinions on?
Is this what happens to like the USSR that was E3 when it fractures into like 500 different little city states or countries or whatever? Like, and this like they're all vying for power to see who's going to take the top notch.
Why is Moldova a country, dude? No, get wrapped into something.
Suddenly we're all looking at Latin American games for our news. No, I don't think it's going to happen, man.
Well, first of all, we're contributing to the problem here because now we're giving you the DL Gaming Showcase. All right, we're showcasing the showcases.
It's true.
We're not helping.
We're part of the problem. No.
Yeah. Second, I had a little trouble finding one. I only watched 2 of these showcases, and they were kind of the bigger ones. But I made it about halfway through one of them before I realized I was watching a replay of one from last year.
Oh, shit.
It kind of tipped me off when they were talking about Black Myth Sun Wukong, and they're like, you may already be playing this game because it just came out. And I'm like, it's been out a while. That seems a little strange. And I can't remember like what totally tipped me off where I was like, wait a minute.
Hey.
Yeah. But yeah, it's funny. A lot. And whenever you have this many showcases or even a showcase in general, a lot of the games start to blend together. It's really hard to stand out. You know, you hear the same buzzwords over and over again: atmospheric, immersion, you know. So we're going to break it down and hopefully give you the ones that you should pay attention to.
Yeah, so let's get into some standout titles that came to our attention more than others. For me, I think there was a definite step up in graphics this year. I think people are getting a hold on. You know how, like, when a new PlayStation comes out, the first year of games don't look all that great. They might have a few that are okay, but then it gets better with time. I think devs are really starting to learn how to use Unreal 5, and it's starting to show. Like the Witcher 4 tech demo. Did you guys watch that?
Yeah.
So
amazing.
Yeah, I mean, so the nanite foliage is what they call it. It's just one of those things where they're figuring out how to do zoom all the way in on one pine needle or zoom all the way out at a forest and still be running. You know, this is all, they're trying to sell things here, but at 60 frames a second. And it seems incredible what they were doing. Not just that, but when the horse is running and they zoom in and they show the musculature of the horse and how it's affecting the skin on the surface, because the muscles are rippling because the horse is doing certain movements. I thought that was incredible. The unscripted connections, that's more of a thing that, you know, within their game, but Siri bumps into a guy holding apples, and the apples fall onto the ground, and then an orphan notices the apples and goes over and grabs one, and then pigs run out after him. Pigs run out of the pig pen from even further away because they saw that there's a snack on the ground, and apparently none of that is scripted. That's all just, you know, interconnected events, I guess, that can work together if triggered the right way.
When the orphan takes a bite of the apple, did he go, yuck, this side is bruised? And then how deep does it go? When the orphan takes a shit, It's like, it smells. Where does the apple core end up? I want to know.
I don't know. Bobby, you got a ton of these. Where are you at?
So the first one I'm going to start with is called The Explorator. And this isn't really, we called this our standout titles. I'll be honest, this one doesn't stand out a whole lot, but I kind of admired what it does here. This is just a game that's already out for $14 on Steam. You can go buy it right now. And it's a first-person shooter that's got this cartoon cel-shaded look, very similar to 13, if you remember that game from, I don't know, the early 2000s. And it's not trying to be like anything too crazy. Amidst all these other games that were just like trying to be the next big AAA thing, this one was just kind of like, it's something simple. First person shooter, $14. They did use the word atmospheric to describe it. I think even on their Steam page, they call it atmospheric. And I don't know if that really applies. It feels like that adjective is really getting thrown around here. I mean,
this podcast is atmospheric. People have described it that way.
Yeah.
I mean, everything's atmospheric if you think about it. I mean, the atmosphere is everywhere. But the graphic style is probably the biggest hook. Yeah, mind blown. The graphic style is probably the biggest hook for this game. And I can't imagine it being like anything outstanding compared to all the other things that we saw during the showcase. This one, I just thought, it's kind of nice, you know? This is like a game that I would probably play. I've been really into campaigns, first-person shooters lately, or third-person action games. So that one I kind of like the look of.
It's quaint. It's quaint, and it has headshots. That's a hard combination to have.
Yeah.
You guys both have Felt That Boxing on the list, and I wanted to, I think, Emilio, you're right. Like the games are looking better or more polished. Like the technology is in the hands of developers.
Yeah.
And then the Felt That Boxing, I was surprised. They're like, it's in UE5. And I was like, what? It looks so different and cool. And it's just like, yeah, they're using this tool and they're finding cool ways to use it. And this was a standout title for both of you guys. So I don't know. Go through why.
Well, I was thinking about when I was talking about my graphics, when I was going to focus on that for this episode, I was thinking about how I think maybe 10, 15 years ago, we thought it was just going to get more and more photorealistic, but really you could just go more and more stylized. And when you get even more stylized, it just looks that much cooler when you do those things. So this is a perfect example of what I'm trying to say. So it looks like real puppets boxing. Puppets like I guess Sesame Street, but not really Sesame Street. Way more surreal than Sesame Street. And I was like, I'm gonna talk shit about the title too, but then I realized I think they're talking about like I felt that emotionally because like you're an orphan and you're fighting for the orphanage and you're a scrappy little guy trying to make your way out through becoming a boxing champion. It looks hilarious, it looks awesome, but Bobby is going to say that it's just Punch Out.
Is it?
Well, I don't know. So this game, Felt That Boxing, had a really funny trailer that I think caught everybody's attention, but as with many of the games that I watched during these showcases, I was like, what's the game here? Like, what exactly is this game? So Felt That Boxing to me kind of looked like just Mike Tyson's Punch Out with Muppets, or with puppets rather. But it looked like there might have been some training mini games in between. And after reading the Steam page, it also said there's like some progression, you unlock things as you move up. But it looks fantastic. It looks funny. And, even if it is just Mike Tyson's Punch Out with puppets, like I'd be up for that. This is the only game that I added to my wish list. Out of everything that I saw, this is the only one that
That's a tough list to get on, guys. Good job. It
is.
I Felt That Boxing. Great
I
fucking job.
9 things on my wish list.
And, that's insane.
About in the training montage, you're hitting the sides of beef like Rocky does in the freezer, and the counter on the top says meats beat. I thought that was funny. And then when you're plunging the toilet, he's like, I've been taking dumps all day in there while you're like plunging it. I thought it was hilarious, man. It's so good.
Did Mike Tyson's Punch Out have a storyline? I've never played this game.
Not really.
No, just some lines of text between fights, but not much.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was a Nintendo game. There really wasn't too much to it. This one
seems like there's
looks
something
it
else
has more of a
there.
story.
It's going to pull us in with cute puppetry and hit us over the head with like a deep life lesson.
Yeah.
But this game has no keyboard and mouse support at all. It says you must use a gamepad to play this. So I'm not sure how I feel about that.
We know how you feel about it, dude.
Yeah.
Well,
we know
I feel like there
exactly.
should be a good reason. Like if there's the way you control the character is very specific to a controller, I can understand that. We'll see. We'll see.
Wow.
But yeah, out of everything I saw, that was the one that I felt was more interesting.
Oh, you just had to do that, didn't you? You little sneaky boy. I added Chronicles Medieval Hype Lance 5000, guys. I was like Tom Hardy. He was like narrating. He's like 1453 England or whatever the year was, and I was like, I'd already gone on Steam in like 1.5 seconds, and I was looking at. And it took so long to appear on Steam. I thought, oh, is this game gonna not be on? Like, is this gonna be an Epic Game Store exclusive or something like that? It is on Steam. It's a medieval sandbox. From what I can tell, exactly like Mountain Blade 2. There's no gameplay. Basically, a bunch of red flags. It's exactly like a game that I haven't played, but I want to play. It has no gameplay. It is narrated by a famous actor who probably doesn't play video games, and yet I'm so on this hype train. I want to exist in a medieval world, Bobby. I don't know what it is. Okay.
Mountain Blade 2 is not enough for you.
Well, I haven't tried it, but yes, I Mountain Blade would be an excellent game for me to go and try, as would Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. These all seem like really accurate portrayals of, medieval, like from a rags to riches story. I don't know. For some reason, this pulled me more to it. It was probably the cinematics. If the game looks that good while you're playing it, and the gameplay is so smooth and fluid, and it has that cinematic feel to it, I think maybe this is the one. Maybe Mountain Blade 2 I put on the shelf forever. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 I never touch. And Chronicles Medieval with our boy Tom Hardy. That's the one that I end up doing. I don't know. Did you guys have any opinions about that one when it showed up?
I think personally it's the perspective, dude. I think that's what it is. I think you have a God complex and you always like trolling people from up above. I think it's never the first person one, dude. It's always let me get these peasants out of the predicament. You are a noble leader. Yeah, benevolent God.
Yeah. This one is first person though, Emilio. That's the thing that
I missed that. Shit.
Yeah.
Damn it, there goes my whole thing.
Yeah. Idiot. No,
just tell me to shut the fuck up as soon as I open my mouth this time.
No. Yeah, and you're right. Usually I'm not attracted to for exactly that reason. I just want to be up above. You've clocked me perfectly. And I'm wrong. Sorry. I'm rewatching the trailer now. There was like 3 or 4 seconds of gameplay. He comes up over this hill and he sees this castle burning in the background. You're moving through troops. You see a little bit of your UI of the strength of the armies, and the enemy army kind of reveals itself before you. I think just a beautiful looking game. I'm keeping my eye on this 2026. Yeah. Added to the wish list.
All right.
So probably the second most interesting thing that I saw was Firefighting Simulator Ignite. And this is a co-op firefighting game. And it's made by these developers that look like they have a background in sim games. So it's trying to be very realistic. It has the authenticity of these truck simulator games, but it seems like it has the co-op mechanics of a Phasmophobia type game. So it's an interesting mix here, and I'm not sure what to make of it yet. The trailer kind of highlighted a lot of the gameplay that looked interesting. Like basically you and a crew go in and you fight a fire, and like you probably have different levels. Like an apartment's on fire, a business is or office building is on fire. I'm sure
my pants are on fire. Sorry, bad.
The monkey's got the firecrackers.
Yeah, you go in, you fight fires, you rescue people. So instead of capturing ghosts or like like a Rainbow Six mission where you got to assassinate somebody, you're just fighting fire. It does have mod support, which is really cool. That's great for any game, and it's going to be cross-platform, so hopefully it'll have a good player base. I did want to say in the trailer though, the voiceover was pretty bad. I don't know if it was AI or what, but I don't know. The voiceover kind of took me out of it a little bit. That's a small complaint and what otherwise looks like an interesting concept here. A lot of the stuff I gravitated to in the showcases was the co-op games. And I'm always looking for something different you can do with co-op. This seems kind of cool.
Fighting fires.
This seems super cool, dude. I love it. It's great. Because I imagine since it's kind of a unique thing that you're doing, hopefully they come up with some unique mechanics or ways to work together, or don't cross the streams, whatever it happens to be.
Mm-hmm.
Don't cross the stream. Rule number 1.
I want to apologize to the listeners. I've used my mic stand as a Wing Chun fucking dummy this whole episode. I've smacked the shit out. The first 2 seconds I hit it like 6 other times.
Yeah. It's felt that boxing in real life. He's really beaten on it. This looks awesome. With these deep sim games, I think, Phasmophobia, you're probably okay. I need to back up here. With these deep sim games, I think there's an opportunity to learn a very niche thing that real people do in real life, even if it is kind of gamified. So with Phasmophobia, all the different things you use to detect ghosts, if you watch like those shows on TLC or whatever, where they'd pretend to detect ghosts or maybe do detect ghosts, they use like all these devices. And I would hope in the firefighting simulator game, if it's got this realistic angle, maybe you're learning, what kind of water pressure do I need to put out the fire? Or like, how long are the ladders on the back of the trucks?
Probably, because if you read the Steam page on this game, they call out specific things like specific brands and types of equipment that they use that's used in actual firefighting. Like they call attention to that multiple times on the Steam page. So they're very concerned with authenticity.
Yeah, I just went through ship fire safety, and there's 3 kinds of fires, and water makes 2 of them worse. So that's I'm sure there'll be something like that in there.
That's great. That's great. What a cool gameplay mechanic, real life. Thanks for that one. That's good physics. Cool. What else you got, Amelia?
What else do I have? Mortal Shell again. I know that you complain about this game later on, and them making so many Souls-like games. I don't plan on playing this. Diddy just bought me the newest Elden Ring, like the second DLC. I do plan to play it. Maybe that'll be the one that drags me into the whole thing, but I just wanted specifically to talk about the graphics. I thought graphically it was the best looking game that I saw, other than The Witcher, but that was more of a tech demo. I hope that it ends up looking that good. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Go just look at it. You don't have to play it. I remember JP Diddy really liking the mechanics of the first one. I think the idea is that you're kind of like a soul, and you become the class of the body you inherit. So if you kind of jump into a dead body that's a warrior, you're a warrior for that run, and so on and so on. So that's their whole thing, Mortal Shell.
Their flesh is your weapon. I think let's jump down to the disappointments real quick, because as we're talking about the Souls-like games, I was like, by the end of the showcase, I was like, I've counted how many Souls-like games there are here. There's somewhere between 54 and 55,000 in this show. Like, I'm just like, Souls-like game, Souls-like game, Souls-like game. The genre is a big blind spot for me, and I think I'm struggling to understand, like, what are all these games doing differently? It must be from someone's perspective who sees like a bunch of strategy games in a row. They're like, okay, so you click around and like, what's different? You know, like that's how I am with these type of games. But it's funny that you said you wouldn't play any of them, because I was watching it with Amanda and she was like, wow, this game looks amazing. I was like, oh, are you going to play it? She's like, no, never. I don't play Souls-like. Yeah, but the trailer knocked it out of the park. Yeah.
I mean, this is where it's at right now. I would say that Souls-like is probably like the genre of I don't know, the last 15 years. Definitely a standout new kind of genre. Highly profitable. And I I don't think like new technology or mechanics is going to change that much. So really, the only thing you can do is the size of the world, the depth of the lore, and the and better graphics. You know what I mean? I mean, you could take jabs at changing the formula a little bit, but it's the formula that sells. So, yeah, that's the way I see it.
Nice. Bobby, why is this game on your list? How dare you, by the way?
You're talking about Sonic Racing Crossworlds?
Why is he in a car? He runs so fast. There's no reason why Sonic should be in a car. That should be illegal.
It's not just about Sonic. This is basically Sega. Well, they used to call it Sega All-Star Racers, I think, and it was all the characters from the Sega games. And I think that's what Sonic Racing is now, too. These are actually some of the most fun kart racers out there, at least for me. I love these kart racer games, specifically these ones. I'm watching this trailer for Sonic Racing Crossworlds, and I'm trying to figure out, well, like, what's different about this one, or is it just more of the same? It kind of looks like more of the same, just like bigger. There's gadgets and upgrades. They got some like tie-in with Minecraft, where everything gets blocky, like the level and the cart. But what really threw me is this game is $70. The other kart racing games, the Sega All-Stars, they were like, I don't know, 15, 20, 30 bucks, something like that. You know, they were kind of smaller games. So I think this one is trying to make not just like a single player, multiplayer game, but more one of those like lived in games with like systemic elements that persist through like your entire, like, you know, one of those
live
lived
service
in types. Yeah. More of a service.
It's the cost of the car. You get Sonic on his feet, 20, 25 bucks easy. He's walking to work. You get Sonic in a car, you got insurance, you got your fucking loan repayments. You got, you know, if you crash into anything,
all of that
hailstorm.
is peanuts, dude. I saw dinosaurs. Do you know how expensive those bitches are?
That's true. One of the most expensive things to bring in. Jocko agrees, by the way. He's like, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. This one, I'm always down for these Sonic racing games, but I don't know if I'm going to pay $70 for it.
Didn't make it on the wish list.
No. The anti-wish list. There should be one, right?
There should be one. Yeah.
God, we're the number one poo-pooed game, guys. We're doing something wrong.
We're high on the poo-poo charts. Okay, Emilio, what are your thoughts on Infinitesimals?
Well, I thought that Bobby was going to like it because I remember him saying he likes small worlds, right? He likes being a small thing in a big world or whatever it is. You know, you're the size of a cockroach, I guess. But it's not usually, almost always in these games, it's a cutesy take. But this is like a sci-fi adventure game, I guess. But it takes itself pretty seriously. It looks like, you know, you're like this space cricket that lands in this yard or shrub area. I don't know. And it looks like Earth. I'm not 100% sure it's Earth, but they have a lot of Earth-like creatures, like spiders and stuff like that. And it looks pretty fucking sweet. I'm trying to be cautious with my enthusiasm because like I have nothing else to go on other than you have a laser gun and you're fighting insects, which is always inherently cool. Yeah.
When I saw this, I really couldn't tell the difference between this and Grounded. I mean, it's got more sci-fi in it than Grounded does, obviously, but
I didn't see any crafting in this one.
I don't think it was crafting. I think it's an action game. I think.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. A narrative first-person like shooting adventure.
One is children and another's a space cricket, Bobby. There's a huge chasm.
God damn it, Bobby. Pay attention.
Yeah.
Grounded. I mean, that sounds more interesting than just like Grounded with sci-fi tech.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. Did you have anything on that, Christian, or did it make your eyebrows go up?
It made both my eyebrows go up. I went,
simultaneously?
Yeah, I went. Ooh. I think I also like the more serious take. You know, was Honey I Shrunk the Kids? I watched it as a kid. Was that a funny take? Or I remember a scene where like the cat almost eats them. I remember being scared and being like, "Oh, I would not want to be small. My cat would eat me."
As you were saying that, I was thinking it almost fell in the thrillometer area where like there was laughs and scares. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which
the spider...
Bobby, do you miss the Thrillomedy? I mean, I thought Arachnophobia, fucking Tremors. It was like we had a streak going on there, and then all gone. No more funny horrors.
I don't know. People are still making those types of movies, but they're all very tongue in cheek and self aware. And what really sells those movies was like the earnestness about them.
All right. I like that one, but not as much as I like Game of Thrones War for Westeros. It was just a cinematic trailer, and I was like, what is this? What is this game? Jon Snow gets stabbed in the heart by the Night King. I was like, oh, maybe it's like a Telltale choose your own adventure type thing, and you chose the wrong adventure, and now you got stabbed by the Night King in the stomach. It's an RTS, if you didn't know. It's a classic RTS, and if you look on the Steam page, it looks... you can tell, oh, this is the headquarters building. These are my houses to increase my population. Like, it looks like an old Age of Empires 2 game set in the Game of Thrones universe. From what I can tell, doing nothing new except for being set in that universe, which might be fine. People love that universe.
Yeah. Where are you on that universe, by the way?
I love it. I'm on book 4 right now for my first read through, and I just can't put it down. My father-in-law's like pretty upset that he's gonna probably pass away before the next book is out. He's like, don't start. You're just going to be disappointed. And I'm like, I know I'm going to be disappointed that there's not another book and that this story doesn't have a good ending, but like, it's so good. It doesn't matter. Like, each book is so good.
And
so
plus,
I love it.
You should have also rubbed it in the face. I got 40 years to go, bitch.
I might be all right.
I don't know if George R.R. Martin's going to be alive by the time
that's
this book
swimming
comes
in
out.
Hollywood Tale these days, dude. He has no motivation to finish that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I've got a couple of things I'm going to run through real quick here. I've got a whole category titled "Cool, but I'll never play it." And these are games that are cool, but I'll never play them.
Wow.
First up, we got Phase.
A little on the nose there, huh, Bob?
Yeah. Wow. Good name. Good title.
Don't overthink it. First one is actually 2 games, Phase Zero and Ground Zero. These games were very similar, and they're basically Resident Evil on the PS1. They've got old graphics, and you stumble around fixed, like scary places with low resolution graphics with a fixed camera angle, and try to manage your resources and survive the zombies. Cool. Probably never play it or hear about it again. The next one is Under Par Golf Architect. So this is a sim game, a sim management game, but you're building a golf course. I haven't seen that yet. And on top of that, you can actually play golf on the golf course once you build it. So that's kind of a cool idea.
Yeah.
Next up, we got Marvel Cosmic Invasion. It's just a Marvel brawler beat 'em up. And the reason I like this is because I love the brawler beat 'em up genre when I was young. Now that I'm older, I'm just like, it's just the same thing over and over again. Like, how did I enjoy this? But Marvel and like comic books in general had the best brawler beat 'em up games. I'm talking about that X-Men arcade game.
Ooh.
Yeah, classic. I'm talking about Captain America and the Avengers on SNES, even Carnage on the SNES. I mean, those were fantastic games. And this looks like one of those games. I don't know if they'll do anything else to kind of modernize it, but I don't know. It's something to keep an eye on.
Dude, I was already let down by this. So I was watching the announcement of She-Hulk and Rocket are in the new lineup or whatever. And, like She-Hulk's attack is just like this, like jab thing, whatever. It's a punch. And then when she was using the turret, you're supposed to man the turret. No, you punch the turret and it shoots the bad guys, right? But it's like they couldn't have made it's an 8-bit animation to fucking shoot the turret. No, we're punching the turret maybe it's a She-Hulk. Maybe she's too dumb to operate it, and that's how she operates it. I'm going to give him a little leeway. You have time here, guys. It says you got 6 months. 6 months to work on an animation for the turret. Please.
Would she even fit in the turret is the question.
Yeah, probably not. Maybe you do have to punch it. Yeah. I apologize.
Yeah,
right.
watch yourself, bigot.
It looks 4 players. That's cool. It
Yeah.
looks like they're getting kind of loose with their IP. There's also a brand new fighting game, a tag fighting game, a 4v4 tag fighting game, which I don't think has ever been done. And they gave it to the guys who did Guilty Gear, the newest Guilty Gear from like 2 years ago. That looks absolutely amazing and sold a lot of copies. They gave the IP to them and just said, do what you want with our characters. Like, let's see your version of the Marvel characters. And I think that's going to be a real big hit. We haven't had something to take over the Marvel vs. Capcom series. And I think that's the next one that's going to be out. I forget the name of it. Sorry to drop a game without having a title. I'll look it up.
All right. Last one is the Marvel Deadpool VR game, which I think a lot of people watched and enjoyed because it was very funny, and Deadpool seems like a really good fit for a VR game. And it was a great trailer. It was really funny. But is it a good game? I mean, we'll have to wait and see. What is weird though, well, not really weird, but it is only on MetaQuest. So I guess you can't play this on a Vive, unfortunately, or any other VR device.
You can port things over. You can trick the Vive into. I mean, you can
That's
trick
too much
the.
work.
Yeah, but people do it because this is happening more and more. It's exclusive titles and stuff on the
VR exclusivity.
On the MetaQuest. Yeah,
that's the new the one.
They made a big deal, like only on MetaQuest, and it was even like worked into the voiceover of the trailer.
Yeah, and then the trailer was like, "Ew, capitalism bad, blah blah blah," and then it was like, by the way, by Facebook, the company everyone loves. I was just like, you're undercutting the messaging of this edgy whatever. It's fine. It's just the IP. Mean, it's the Deadpool IP.
That's how it is, man. That's capitalism. You sell complaining about capitalism. Nothing's more capitalistic than that. But Deadpool is not voiced by Ryan Reynolds. If you look in the description of the YouTube video, it is voiced by Neil Patrick Harris.
Oh.
And when I watched this, crazy, right? And he does a pretty good job. Like, it's really close. And when I was watching this, I saw one of the recommended videos was Ryan overreacts to Marvel's Deadpool VR. And this is what I really want to talk about. Like this video, which they must have like recorded, prepped and timed released it, like, so it would help with the promotion of this game. But it's basically Ryan Reynolds pretending to be Doogie Howser and making fun of Neil Patrick Harris. And it's so funny if you're over 40 years old. Like, it's like the funniest thing I've ever seen, man, because oh boy, do I remember Doogie Howser, dude. Him sitting at the computer talking about what he learned in today's episode. Like, it is classic. If you are over 40,
smiling to fit in. I'm smiling to fit in. Yes.
Christian, this is not for you. You will not
I'm banned.
get any of this. It is so specific, but so funny. So, I mean, that made it worth it. But you know what? I don't do VR. It's complicated. Now that you're talking about, well, you can port it and this or that. I mean, I'm not doing that, dude. Like, it's enough trouble for me to like, I get annoyed when there's too many splash screens on a game for me. Like, the barrier to entry for a video game for me is, it doesn't have to be very high. Like, if I've got to click more than 5 times to play your game, like, I'm probably out.
The 6th click is refund on Steam. Request refund on Steam.
All right, I got the game for you guys. It's Marvel Tokon, TOKON, Fighting Souls, and I'm not sure what Arc System Works is the developer, and they're tried and true. The fighting game world is very excited about this.
This looks amazing.
Yeah, because like I said, we haven't had a replacement for Marvel versus Capcom, so that kind of crazy over the top fighting style, since Marvel versus Capcom Infinite, which wasn't very good. So there's a market for it. This looks great. There's some new mechanics that people are pointing out. I've never been fast enough to play these really well, but I love watching. Like, if I'm going to sit down and watch competitive, it's either Street Fighter 6 or a Marvel game. Yep.
Lastly, on the standout titles. So I've been tempted by Fortnite before. You know, do big. Boof, bish, boof,
I'm telling you, dude.
bish, pa, pa, pa. Woof, woof, woof. It's crazy. But this, and they've done Star Wars crossovers before on Fortnite, and they've done all sorts of, they've opened it up for people to make their own custom maps and their own custom game modes. And Fortnite is more than just Fortnite now. And this Fortnite trailer was like a dogfight over a planet that looked like Star Wars Battlefront. And I was like, what? Maybe this is the thing that finally gets me on to at least try Fortnite. I feel like not understanding Fortnite is like not understanding 40% of everyone who plays video games. You know, like this is a game that everyone plays and everyone likes, essentially.
You can't fit in anywhere, man. You don't get the Doogie Howser reference. You don't like Fortnite. Like,
I just want someone to love me. I can't. Yeah. I'm going to go over here with the Fortnite kids, see if I'll get love over there. I don't know. Did you guys, when you saw the Star Wars thing, or were you like, this is another Fortnite bullshit?
A new guy tried to scoot in on your whole family, and you fucking kicked him out of your apartment, dude. Like, you got to make friends somehow.
Yeah. I got broken into over the weekend. That's a reference for the pre-show.
Christian scared him away with a baseball bat, dude. You don't think, you look at Christian, you don't think a warrior? He's a goddamn warrior.
Yeah.
All right.
For new friends, anyone who wants to be my friends, stop. Yeah, but I don't know, the Star Wars Fortnite, any interest from you guys?
not really. I've seen Fortnite cycle through so many IPs that it's kind of lost any real weight for me. They must have done Star Wars before at some point. I feel like I've seen that.
They have, yeah.
But this looks like usually they put a skin, like a Marvel skin or a Star Wars skin on the game, and they'll introduce one or two abilities that, like a lightsaber or the Thanos rings or whatever like that. But this seems like a complete different rework. I believe you're fighting on the Death Star and above the Death Star. Oh. So I think they made a whole new like planet or level or something. That's what it looks like to me. So I think it's bigger than the regular IP cut-ins, but try it out, dude. It's free.
It's free. Yeah.
No, we're not going to judge you.
I think it might actually be good for my education. You know, Mass Effect, Fortnite, hitting all my blind spots.
Yeah.
All right. Moving on to disappointments. So, you know, me and Amelia have a couple disappointments. Bobby, obviously, laundry list of disappointments.
Basically, Bobby's doing, since we started, it's disappointments.
Just disguised. They're disguised.
Yeah. Well, look, man, if I learned anything from accidentally watching half of last year's game show, it's that you'll never remember any of these games, and a lot of them may not even come out or make any sort of splash. Like it's pretty unfortunate.
Usually it's what, one, maybe two will be like, oh, we remember this from Games Fest. Yeah, it's usually like one or two.
But that's the business. And, you know, my disappointment section, so the things that I'm going to talk about here, they aren't necessarily like really bad games. So I'll start with my first little section here, which I just called More of the Same. And there's nothing really wrong with this because sometimes more of the same is good. Sometimes something's so good, you just want more of it, but just slightly different, right?
All seven tremors are
exactly.
Yeah.
I'm going to simultaneously enter my segment, sit here and listen to Bobby's segment. So I'm going to go right into that. Go for it.
All right. So more of the same. We got a new Resident Evil game. This one's called Requiem. I think it's the 9th one, not counting all the remakes. As someone who doesn't play a lot of these games, I think I've played 2 or 3 of them. I'm just like, okay, looks like more Resident Evil. Now I know some people are like, but this one has this or that. You know, if Nick were here, we'd get an earful, but it's another Resident Evil game. We've also got another Dying Light game, Dying Light Beast. It's more Dying Light. Mafia, Old Country.
But it has a werewolf, dude.
It's got beasts.
Mafia, Old Country. One of these days I'm going to play a Mafia game.
That's what I said as this trailer is playing. I was like, I need to fucking, what's going on? These Mafia people.
If you look at their reviews, they're not very good. Like, I don't. Maybe I'm wrong.
They've always been like not a budget GTA, but like, you know, a step down
Italian
from that.
GTA.
Yeah, they're trying to be more serious, I think, with it in their period pieces as well. I mean, I guess so was Vice City, but yeah, I mean, they're trying to do things a little differently. We got another Atomic Heart game, Atomic Heart 2, and also Atomic Heart, or The Cube, which is kind of a different style of game set in the Atomic Heart universe.
Take a shot every time you're watching the Atomic Heart Cube and 2 trailer and there's a thong. I was like, why are there so many robot thong? Like, there was an incredible amount of robot thongs showing.
So I'm confused, Bobby. Is that one game or 2 games or
2 games? Yeah,
2 games.
There's Atomic Heart 2 and then The Cube.
Okay.
With the sexy robots. And then Mina the Hollower, which is another game from the Shovel Knight developers. This one looks like it's more of an adventure game, I think. It's not necessarily a side scroller, it's top down. Could be good, although Shovel Knight wasn't really my bag. But yeah, so that is more of the same coming out.
Nice. I like that segment. I like more of the same. I don't have much to contribute for disappointments. I think overall a disappointment was that some of the games looked extremely alike. The length of the show I thought was long. Some of the announcements were things we already saw before, or they were advertisements for video games, but not in like a clever way. It was kind of just in your face. You're like, okay, I guess I'm watching this ad. I just wanted to mention they cut off Hideo Kojima. They were like, Hideo Kojima, my best friend. I bet you they are friends in real life. And then he was about to say something and they're like, play the trailer. Be quiet. Oof. Yeah. So don't know if that was accidental or maybe he was just doing some closing remarks, but I was like, did they just cut that guy off? Yeah.
Wow. For me, the Street Fighter 6 new character roster for this year coming out, Sagat's in it, which I'm excited about. But they announced it in such a weird way, man. There's like this, maybe I should know who this guy is. Maybe he's a famous wrestler or something. But he's having like an identity crisis. But when he's by himself in the locker room, he keeps turning into different Street Fighter characters. This is all live action. And he's like, he looks in the mirror and then he turns into one of the characters, which is a girl. And then he turns into another one that's a guy and then turns back into another like really feminine girl. But he's like a big muscular dude. So it was funny. But it was like 2 minutes and like 10 seconds of it was of gameplay. I'm like, I want to see what you're selling here. Like, you actually did a good job with this, but maybe there's a separate trailer somewhere and I'm just being overcritical. But yeah, I didn't see enough Sagat Tiger uppercut.
All right. I've got a couple of games here that are in the maybe pile. They aren't necessarily bad, but there's something maybe I'll keep an eye on, but I'm a little skeptical. The first one is Deathground. This was the one with the dinosaurs. So it's in early access. It'll be on early access on Steam this year, so coming out soon. But it's a co-op survival horror game, kind of like GTFO, but without, I don't know, what is GTFO? Without like the weird sci-fi stuff. And this one is just like dinosaurs that you have to avoid. So you jump into a mission with you and a couple of friends. You have to complete something while you're getting hunted by dinosaurs and survive. So I'm not sure if it's like a Phasmophobia with dinosaurs or if it's like a PvE extraction shooter without so much shooting. I'm not sure.
Maybe it's a co-op run and hide.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was getting from it. It seemed more like run and hide, but there was someone with a gun there. But I don't know. This trailer, like a lot of them, had the devs talking a lot, but not necessarily giving a ton of information. But it's very difficult to like convey gameplay.
This one will be $70. Sorry, as we've established before, because the dinosaur, the DOC dinosaur overcost.
And the trainers. The dino trainers are just...
No, well, let's not get even started. Let's not get started on the trainers. Ugh, that's a whole other bucket.
All right, next one in the maybe pile is Ascendant. This is an 80s retro futuristic biopunk capture the flag game. the Steam page says capture the flag on crack is how they describe it, which is an expression that, you thought went out with the 80s and 90s, but they're bringing it back. I think because this is kind of like a retro thing. They're really going for that Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon rule or look. But this is it's capture the flag basically with 3 flags is kind of what I got from it. So I don't know if that is exactly like being on crack, but I guess so.
It's like
maybe you're imagining the other two.
Okay, when Nick said that Kenshi was like getting a Narcan after overdosing on fentanyl, and we put that reel out and it got all those views, like half the comments were like, no, it's not. I've overdosed on fentanyl and got Narcan. Kenshi is nothing like that, I'll have you know. And I'm just like, yeah, that's crazy that you think that, dude. That's yeah.
Oh boy. Okay, so I don't know what to make of this game, because it's like capture the flag. Like, nobody, you take any game ever, capture the flag is like the least played multiplayer map in any of them. Like, this goes way back throughout the history of multiplayer first person shooter. Nobody likes capture the flag.
Dude, even on the playground, you just play tag. As soon as someone's like, let's capture. Yeah, you're like, what? Why would we do that? That's like a scheduled thing that a teacher makes you do. We would never do this.
So I don't know. And it's like, I feel like the game is trying not to be an extraction shooter because there's so many extraction shooters right now. And I'm like, okay, I appreciate you're trying to do something different, but like, we've all moved on. We've all like agreed, capture the flag. Like, nobody plays it. Nobody likes it. Let's just stop making it a game mode in any multiplayer, and let's move on to something more interesting. But I don't know. So
maybe the pitch was on crack. Hey guys, I got a great idea for a game.
3 flags. 3 flags.
That's good. 3 flags. All right. And then the last one is Wildgate. And this one was just like, I don't know. I was so like mediocre on this. I'm like, it looks good. Like, it sounds good in theory, but I don't know if it is. So it looks like an extraction shooter, but with ship to ship combat, and you're flying spaceships. So not only are you with a crew that's like trying to fight another crew for like fighting over some resources, you're also doing it in a spaceship, and then you can board each other's ships as well. It sounds like a really good idea, but something about the game just looked very generic and bland, and like I would forget about it like within a day. So I don't know. We'll see. They've got a playable demo out right now, so I downloaded this one. Like, I'm going to find out, and I feel like that's the way to do this too. It's like,
totally
have a demo ready to go, because the trailer is always leaves so many questions.
And have the Steam page ready to go too, people. Like, if I'm watching something live at the event, I am like the core mark. I'm like a hardcore fan. If that Steam page isn't up for me to find the thing, like, that's so many. Okay, next trailer, and I've already forgot.
It's an Epic exclusive though, because that happened to me a few times. So it's like, all right, let's check out Steam. Let's get some more info. Nope, not on there. Maybe Google knows. Oh, it's on Epic.
4 seconds to open up the Epic game. The worst. Okay.
Hey, Christian, wasn't there an extraction shooter where you board other spacecraft and and you played it for a little while? It was like,
yes, it was Marauders. Yeah,
Marauders. Yep.
Yeah, and that one only has like 10, 20 people playing it. Right, like, there's nothing wrong with the game. It's just there's not a player base to keep it going, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I think.
Well, that's the problem with so many games, that they rely on a player base, and extraction shooters, like, everybody is competing in that space right now. I talked about Marathon a couple weeks ago. Bungie's new extraction shooter they've been working on, Arc Raiders, had a trailer and is coming out soon. Like, it's a pretty tapped out genre right now.
Yeah, she's tight.
Which is why DLG is announcing their Souls-like extraction shooter. Watch out for it.
What?
On crack.
On crack. On crack. No. Okay. We're moving on to surprises, or I wrote hot takes in big bold letters, because that's pretty much all I have. And I guess I'll hit you with my first hot take. There's not enough bad guys riding jellyfish in media. The jellyfish is such a gruesome and frightening creature when it's like life size. It has these like tentacle tendrils. Jellyfish are born as plants and then they like separate upwards. They're like, you can see all their organs through them. They're not intelligent, but they can be deadly. They're the perfect bad guy mount. And yet this is the first time I've seen one in a trailer. So my hot take is put more bad guys on big jellyfish mounts.
Well, the problem is you can't, they're not, there's a word for this where both sides look the same, but you don't know where the head is. You don't know which way is forward. It doesn't know which way is forward.
Oh, certainly
so
not.
So it's really, it's not going to get you where you want it to go.
Okay, fair enough point. Bobby, what do you have?
So I don't know. There were just a couple of things that stood out to me. When you watch all these game trailers, there's always a bunch that just don't give you anything. Now, understanding a game through a trailer is an incredibly difficult thing to do. I don't envy the people who have to come up with these trailers and figure out how to market their game that way because it's so difficult. And historically, this has always been a problem. Like, a game sells itself as one thing in a trailer. It's very cinematic. It gets people excited. They play the game. It's a completely different experience and it's a little disappointing. Not necessarily because it looked different or anything, but like that emotional tone or whatever it was in the trailer, they didn't get the same feeling from the game that they got from the trailer. That's what you're trying to do.
And then like some company, and then you break the bank and you break your imagination trying to come up with this thing. It does okay. And then some streamer plays Lethal Company and a funny thing happens and they sell fucking 20 million copies. And it was just like, how do we fucking do that?
Yeah.
How do we do that?
That is the best trailer. If you look at it from a marketing perspective, that is the best trailer. Someone playing your game and having a good time. You can't pay any trailer artist to make that for you. That just has to happen, which is really cool that it can happen.
Well,
and then there was a while where they tried to like fabricate that. They had these trailers that was just like fake gameplay or like scripted gameplay, like actual people like, and you could tell like everybody's got a really good mic and like you can't hear like someone's dog barking or their girlfriend yelling at them in the background. And it's just like, it was just a little too clean. It was a little too clean. But I want to call attention to two games that I think it's tough making a gameplay trailer or a game trailer, but I feel like some people just like don't even try. And for me,
dude, I totally thought you were going to go the other way where you were going to be like,
I thought so too.
These are some standout hits.
Yeah. No, these are some bottom of the barrel.
I should have done that. I should have been more positive. But no, I'm going to point out the ones that I felt like basically is just like, what even is this? And the problem is it's not necessarily that it's not entertaining. It's just that I watched the trailer and I have no idea what your game is. And one of those was Ludo or Luto. Basically, you're in a house and scary things happen. And that's about it. Like
that was my house 3 days ago, by the way, in the break-in.
Yeah. So I don't know what to make of that. I mean, you got to watch the trailer to understand it, but it's like a minute and a half of just like images. Another one was Ritual Tides. Same thing. Scary pictures and some guy whispering about some nonsense, like just like talking about scary stuff. Like, and it's just like, that's it. Ugh. That's it, dude. This is like a 1960s like French experimental film or something. It's just like, what's your video game, dude? Like, this is not like something that I want to play here. So I don't know. I feel like that could be improved a little bit. And maybe they don't have much at this point and they're just trying to sell an idea. Like they're just trying to get something that people connect with. But I don't think video games really work like that. Like you gotta have something. So yeah, the award to the least descriptive trailer goes to Ludo and Ritual Tides for me.
Congrats, guys. Good job on that.
But go ahead.
No. If you're gonna keep going, I'm for it. Please.
Yeah.
I'll do one more because I got a few things here. Best soundtrack. So the game itself didn't look like anything I'd played, but Ratatan. It's a rhythm roguelike side scroller with 4-player co-op, and you've got to go check out that trailer just for the soundtrack. I don't know if we can play it here on the episode, but It's ridiculous. And I was just like, okay, that deserves a call out.
Cool. Oh, that's cool.
Well, if you have a rhythm game, I hope the soundtrack is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Wow, side scroller. Ooh.
Yeah, 4-player co-op in that too. How does that even work? Rayman Legends had some segments that were like that, but a whole game, that'd be sweet. Mm-hmm.
This is cool.
Yeah. And if I had to describe the music, I would describe it as like, you know, those Kids Bop?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like that, but Japanese.
Okay.
Sweet. So this is one of the first things I mentioned, and I just want to bookend the episode by mentioning it again. Why is Sonic in a car? I feel like this just breaks. I can't be immersed. I'm like, Sonic could be running. I played a Sonic racing game that was all about Sonic running, and I thought that was really fun. I think it was actually called Sonic Racers with a Z. It's like downhill running. You're with Sonic. It's head-to-head co-op. Don't put Sonic in a car. He runs.
Fix it for you. He's so fast that the only way he can race is if he slows himself down and puts himself in a league where the speeds are managed. That's the only way he can feel this real
it's like the Flash at like a marathon, and he's like, well, this is easy. Like, I have to give myself some sort of I understand. It does fix it for me. Me and the therapist will go over it together. I got another pitch. I think it should just be illegal for SpongeBob to commit violence. Okay. There's too many SpongeBob beat 'em up games, and I'm like, he's a sponge. He's a lovable sponge for kids. Why are you putting him in this game? Or he's beating up crabs and fish and stuff. It doesn't make this. There needs to be some sort of legislation. Like there's rules. There needs to be rules against SpongeBob violence. So that's my pitch to you guys, at least.
Again, he's soft like Nerf. So it's playful violence. Do you see? Yeah.
Those crabs, when they get hit, they get X's over their eye. I don't think they're okay. I don't know if they're okay. Yeah. I don't know. That's all my hot takes, I think. Yeah.
Wu-Tang is just released. So when I was going to talk about this, I was like, oh, maybe this is coinciding with an album. But I guess they dropped an album in April, and it didn't set the light on fire the world on fire, because I haven't heard about it. But they have a world tour going on. Might coincide with that. Anyway, these never work out when rappers or like movie stars try to like make a game. It's such a hard thing to do. It sounds like a good idea. It sounds like something fun, and then you're in a never-ending money hole pit, just throwing money, trying to make it right. I wish them all the best. It's going to have a great soundtrack. I can guarantee that. But that's about as good as it's going to get.
Yeah, nice. That was Wu-Tang Rise of the Deceiver. That one was like, I had the same reaction. I was like, the soundtrack's going to be great, but like, I don't know if the gameplay is going to hold up. They're trying to do like a lot of different things. Like, it looks like an action adventure, like fighting game, but also it has like that hub real world, like a game as a service type thing going on, but it just seemed like they were leaning a little too heavily on the Wu-Tang thing. So I don't know if it's going to be anything that people like really gravitate to.
There was the rock game with Jack Black that was pretty good, I think. Full Throttle?
Brutal Legend.
Yeah. I think people like that one.
Yeah, but that was like a game, and then
that's
like
a game that used.
Yeah, and then like Jack Black came into it, and they kind of used a lot of his persona and his voice as the main character, but it kind of had its own thing.
Yeah,
and the career that guy has had is pretty incredible.
But like, what Shaq Fu was like a terrible game. What else was there? There's that baseball player that put his fortune into that MMO.
That pitcher for the Phillies. And Chad, an old caster on the show, I think played that game. Yeah, and then we all, I don't know if we even remember it now, but Kanye wanted to make a game. There's a trailer of it out there. Didn't get very far. 50 Cent had a game. He famously said he wanted to have the #1 album, movie, and video game in the country at the same time. didn't happen. And this was like back during the peak of his fame too.
It's a testament to how difficult game making must be if like a heavy hitter in any other genre can't come over and just make one.
Well, at the end of the day, the game has got to be good. Like people just won't play it. You know, you can't. It's really hard to like hang it on a celebrity, like have that have it driven by like that character driven stuff. Anyway, I wanted to, before we wrap up here, I just wanted to call out the best joke that I heard in any of these game trailers. Maybe even funnier than Felt That Boxing, the whole trailer. There was a gameplay trailer for Duck Detective, The Ghost of Glamping. And in the voiceover, they said you play as a quick, depressed, and recently divorced duck who must quack the case.
Yeah. That's 10. That's
we're trying too hard here, guys. Like it's that simple.
You got some quack
Comedy
jokes and call
is
it a
that simple. So, I mean, obviously that was hilarious. But then I was like, oh, a point and click duck detective game seems kind of interesting. I check out the Steam page, overwhelmingly positive reviews. The game's already out. Not only that, this is part of a series. There's been other duck detective games rated just as high. Apparently, this is a whole thing that I'm just unaware of.
It's not on your wish list.
We've never detected this. We've never. How?
Yeah. So I don't know. I might be checking that out. I guess these games are like 2-3 hours. They're real small games. They're like $10. So I don't know. I'm probably check these out at some point, even though I don't play point and click adventures too often.
Yeah, give the goose a yank. Nice, cool. We got a special announcement before we move on with the show. I think I had something. Sorry, I have nothing. Special announcement.
There you go. Well, now that you have that queued up all the time, dude, maybe I will stick around. No.
It's that easy.
It's that easy. It's a one sound effect. Hi, I'm Emilio. I've been around for a little while. Been on here 10 years or so, as long as Bobby. It was my idea, and then Bobby did all of the work. It was fantastic, and it continues to this day. So essentially what's going on is I started my little card business. I'm not making a ton of money, but I am making some money. And I've always had like a little side business, or sometimes I've lived off of my businesses. And right now I have a regular job and I have this side business. And this side business has two things going on with it. One, it's an infinite time vacuum. It will take as much time as you have. There's things to do. You're never done. Think of it like I'm selling things for 5 cents. And I'm trying to make money off of that, but I have 10,000 of them. Right. And so it's a very hard, the margins are like cents and volume. So it's very time. There's a lot of, it just sucks up your time like crazy. And even if I get everything organized and, I'm filling orders and all of that, then you're never done, because now I have to source more product. You're always looking for the best deal.
And it's local game store. Your side business is an online card
on
reseller.
TCG Player specifically. Yeah. It looks like people are boycotting now. So just in time for me to build my business on it. Right now it's local game store. Just Google that on TCG Player or whatever, or those two, and you can find me. But so just like a couple weeks ago, I was at a party and I talked about what I'm doing, and some guy's like, "Oh, I have a whole collection I'm going to sell you." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And I'm going to 6x my money on that. But that doesn't happen every day. You got to be out there looking for that kind of stuff. Because I mean, and then there's 3D prints that go along with it never ends. It never ends as much. And so after work, that's what I'm doing. And so I'm not playing games anymore. And the reason, not just the money, is that I really enjoy it. Like, it's fun. I was playing Doom Dark Ages, which is amazing by all accounts. And I'm like, I could be working on cards right now. And I was like, I should be working on cards right now, because I find it just as fun and just as rewarding. But actually, there's chances of making money off of it, you know? So that's where I'm at with that. Also, I'm a terrible partner in this podcast. Like imagine if I was like, if this was an office and everybody's doing their job and then this guy shows up once a week drunk and makes fun of everybody and leaves. That's basically how like I do it. I don't there's definitely not we're not spreading the workload evenly. So I'm leaving and making it worse on everybody.
Nice.
Yeah. So I'm not saying that I'm leaving for good. This whole thing might implode on itself like really soon. And then I'll be back. Like, dude, I was looking at The Witcher and I was like, I can't wait to talk. Oh, I'm not going to talk about it. You know?
Yeah. It'll, yeah.
Yeah. Maybe I'll come in. I told Christian, you know, it's not like I'm leaving. I'll be on the Discord. And then if, you know, they're really hard up, we only have one caster this weekend and I'm not fucking dick deep in cards. Maybe I can jump on and for a couple hours and shoot the shit. And I will be at DLG Con. It's like, I'm not dead. And last thought that I had is like, I think I have 10 more years of really earning for the rest of my life. You know, like I'm probably going to make a good chunk of my forever money in the next 10 years. So I have to, because I'm past my prime. And so it's only going to get worse every year. So I think these next 10 years, and plus I want to retire at 55. So I need to hit it hard. So we'll see. And so for those reasons, I'm out. And if we're speaking for Christian and Bobby, those are the last titties.
Okay, we're not quite.
Unless you guys have any questions. Well, it was such a good ending, man.
It was good. I guess we'd be remiss to say, you know, the show is brought to you by John Vogel at Toothbreaker. Thanks for supporting us on Patreon. You can join the Discord, talk to the community, talk to Emilio, talk to him about his card shop. He'll be there. He hasn't died, as he said. And then next episode, we're talking about Dune. So Dune Awakening has released, you know, I love the Dune universe. Amanda and Taylor are also interested in crafting survival games and Dune. They're playing it right now, actually. They've pre-ordered it. And so we're going to do a whole episode on Dune and crafting survival as a genre for our next themed episode. So if you want to play Dune with us, we're considering getting a private server because it's not your typical MMO. It's like the sharded area where, you know, 40 to 200 people each have their own private zone, and then you all meet in the deep desert and battle those other groups. That's kind of the MMO part, but it might be fun to just play with the community and play with your friends in the crafting survival part of that game. So that's what we got going on for Dune. If you want to play with us, let us know. And the end of this show is a sea shanty by the people who announced Ahoy. I think Ahoy might have flew under the radar, but it's like a serious take on piloting a ship, and it's like a multiplayer adventure. And then at the end of their trailer, at the end of their extended trailer on YouTube, they put together a sea shanty, and it's like the developers singing. I was like, oh, that's cute. So maybe I'll talk about it here. Emilio, do you want to now? Maybe now would be a good time if you want to hit it back up with the titties.
Final titties. Bye, everybody. See you later.
Help me, Bob, I'm bully in the alleyway. Hey, bully in the alley. Help me, Bob, I'm bully in the alley. Bully down in Chimbo now. Oh, Sally's a girl that I love dearly. Way, hey, bully in the alley. Sally's a girl that I splice nearly. Bully down in Chimbo now.